Jack Miller sat on the small couch in his modest apartment, holding an envelope he had found in the mail. The paper was thick and elegant, clearly expensive, and the handwriting on it looked familiar. He opened it carefully and saw an invitation to a wedding. He frowned, wondering if it was meant for someone else. Then he read the names on the card and froze. Lily Carter, his first love. It's a girl he had loved in high school, the one he had never stopped thinking about even after all these years. He felt a mix of excitement and fear. He had imagined this day in his mind many times, but now it was real. He looked around at his small apartment, feeling the weight of his life pressing down on him. He worked long hours at the factory, barely earning enough to cover rent and food. Raising his son alone had been hard, and he had never really had time to think about himself. And now here was Lily, probably surrounded by rich people, looking perfect and happy. Would she even recognize him? Would she want to see him at all? He held the invitation closer and read the details again. The wedding was in a large hall downtown. The names of the families suggested wealth and influence. Jack felt out of place already. His clothes were simple and worn, and his shoes had seen better days. Still, a part of him knew he could not ignore this. He had to see her. He had to face the memories, the pain, and the hope that maybe, just maybe, something could happen again. On the day of the wedding, Jack wore his best shirt and cleaned his shoes until they shined. He tried to comb his hair neatly and took a deep breath before leaving. Outside, the streets were busy with people heading to the same event. Jack felt a nervous excitement he had not felt in years. He kept thinking about Lily and what she would look like. Would she remember him? Would she laugh if she saw him now? As he arrived at the wedding hall, he paused at the entrance. The building was grand, with lights and decorations that made it look like a palace. He felt a pang of insecurity. He looked down at his hands and sighed. He was just a simple man, a poor dad, with no wealth or status. He wondered if he could even fit in here. But the thought of seeing Lily was stronger than any fear. He stepped inside and was immediately met with the sound of music and laughter.
Oh.
People in elegant dresses and suits moved around him. He walked carefully, trying not to draw attention, when suddenly he saw her. Lily Carter stood near the center of the room, smiling and talking to guests. She looked exactly as he remembered, maybe even more beautiful. Her hair was shiny, her dress perfect, and her smile bright. Jack felt his heart skip a beat. He hesitated, unsure if he should approach. He watched her laugh at something a guest said, her eyes lighting up. He remembered all the times they had laughed together in high school, the long walks, the late-night talks, the promises they had made. Memories flooded back, and he felt both joy and sadness. Jack took a deep breath and walked toward her. His steps were slow, but determined. He could feel his heart pounding in his chest. As he got closer, Lily turned slightly, and their eyes met. For a moment, the room seemed to disappear. She stared at him in shock, and then a smile slowly spread across her face. Recognition and surprise mixed with something else he could not yet name. He stopped a few feet away and said her name softly, Jack. She whispered his name back, Lily. The sound of it sent shivers down his spine. They stood there, looking at each other, both unsure what to say, but unable to look away. The years melted away, leaving only the boy and girl they had once been, and the feelings they had never forgotten. The wedding continued around them, but Jack felt like time had stopped. He knew this was only the beginning. This meeting would change everything, and neither of them could ignore it. He took a step closer, ready to face whatever came next. Jack felt a mix of nerves and excitement as he stood in front of Lily. The music and chatter of the wedding faded into the background. Lily looked at him, her eyes wide with surprise, and then she smiled warmly. She walked closer, and Jack noticed that she moved with the same grace he remembered from high school. She said softly, Jack, is that really you? He nodded, feeling his throat tighten. Yes, Lily, it is me. They began walking through the crowd together, trying to find a quieter spot. Jack felt a strange comfort being near her. He had imagined this moment for years, but it felt different now. They were older, wiser, and life had shaped them in ways they could not undo. Yet, the connection was still strong. Lily laughed at something he said, and it was like the old days. Her laughter was familiar, and it made him feel young again. Jack learned that Lily had traveled and worked hard to build her life. She spoke about her career, the places she had visited, and the people she had met. Jack listened with genuine interest, amazed at how much she had achieved. He shared his own story, talking about his son, Danny, and the challenges he faced as a single father. Lily listened quietly, her eyes softening as she heard about his struggles. She admired his dedication and the love he had for his child. As they walked, Jack noticed that some guests were watching them. He felt a little out of place among the wealthy crowd, but Lily did not seem to care. She treated him with the same respect and warmth as she always had. They laughed at small mistakes, like when Jack accidentally brushed against a waiter carrying drinks. The moment was awkward, but it made them both smile. They felt a connection that went beyond words. Jack and Lily found a quiet corner in the garden outside. The air was cool and the flowers gave off a gentle scent. They sat on a bench, talking about their memories from high school. Jack told her about the times he had hoped to see her, and the moments he had missed her most. Lily admitted that she had often thought of him too. They both felt the weight of the years they had spent apart, but the feelings were still alive. Lily asked Jack about his life and how he was managing. He spoke honestly about the long hours at work, the struggles to make ends meet, and the joy he found in his son. Lily listened closely, sensing the strength and patience he had developed. She felt drawn to him, not for what he had, but for who he was. Her admiration grew stronger, and she began to feel emotion she had not expected. Jack noticed that Lily seemed distant for a moment, as if she was holding back something important. He sensed that her life had changed in ways he could not imagine. He wondered if she would still feel the same connection they once had. Lily looked at him and smiled, but there was a hint of sadness in her eyes. Jack reached out and took her hand gently. She did not pull away, and the touch gave them both a sense of reassurance. They spent more time in the garden, sharing stories and laughs. Jack felt a sense of peace he had not felt in years. He realized that seeing Lily again was more than a surprise. It was a chance to reconnect with the part of his heart he had thought lost. Lily, too, felt her heart opening. She could see the honesty and warmth in Jack, and it made her feel hopeful. As the sun began to set, they returned to the wedding hall together. The music had changed, and people were dancing and celebrating. Jack and Lily walked side by side, their hands brushing occasionally. Both knew that this night was only the beginning. The spark between them had reignited, and neither wanted to ignore it. They were ready to explore what the future might hold, starting from this unexpected reunion. Jack and Lily returned to the wedding hall, moving slowly through the crowd. The lights and music filled the room, but they felt detached from it all. They found a quieter corner near the windows and continued talking. Jack noticed that Lily seemed different from the girl he remembered. She was confident and elegant, but she had the same warmth in her eyes. As they talked, Jack noticed that people around them were whispering about Lily. He realized that she must be someone important now, a woman who had achieved a lot in life. He felt a wave of insecurity. He was just a simple man who worked long hours and struggled to provide for his son. Would she see him as someone too ordinary for her world? Lily noticed his hesitation. She smiled and said that she did not care about wealth or status. She valued honesty, loyalty, and kindness. Jack felt a mix of relief and surprise. He had imagined that she might have changed too much, but it seemed that the person he had loved was still there. They moved to the balcony outside. The city lights were sparkling below them, and the cool breeze made the night feel calm and peaceful. Jack shared more about his life, telling Lily about his son Danny and the challenges of raising him alone. He spoke about the small joys, the bedtime stories, and the proud moments that made all the struggles worth it. Lily listened intently, her admiration for him growing with each word. Lily shared parts of her life too, carefully choosing what to reveal. She spoke about her travels and work, but avoided mentioning the full extent of her wealth. She wanted to see if Jack would still care for her, if their bond could survive the differences in their lives. As she talked, Jack saw her passion and dedication, and it reminded him of why he had fallen in love with her in the first place. They laughed at small mistakes and awkward moments. Jack almost stepped on a flower pot, and Lily teased him gently. The laughter eased the tension, making the connection between them feel natural and real. The comfort and joy of being together was something they had both missed. After a while, Jack and Lily sat on the balcony railing, looking at the stars. They remembered the nights in high school when they had talked about dreams and the future. Jack admitted that he had never forgotten her, and Lily confessed that she had thought of him many times. The honesty and vulnerability created a bond that was hard to break. Jack felt a pull toward Lily, stronger than anything he had felt in years. He wanted to reach for her, to tell her how much he had missed her. Lily, sensing his feelings, took a small step closer. The space between them seemed to disappear, and for a moment, it was just the two of them, alone in the night. A waiter passed by and spilled a tray of drinks nearby. They jumped back and laughed at the sudden chaos, holding on to each other to keep balance. The shared laughter and support in a small crisis made them feel closer. They realized that, no matter what had changed in life, they could still rely on each other. As the night went on, they returned to the wedding hall, hand in hand. Jack noticed the way people looked at them, some surprised, some curious. He did not care. Lily walked beside him with a soft smile, her eyes showing that she felt the same connection. Both of them knew that this night was significant. It was more than a reunion. It was a chance to rediscover what they had lost and explore what could still be. The night at the wedding continued, but Jack and Lily stayed close together. Enjoying their conversation and quiet moments away from the crowd, Jack felt happy and nervous at the same time. He had never expected to see Lily again, and now that she was here, he did not want to let her go. Lily, on the other hand, was surprised at how natural it felt to be near him. Her feelings were growing stronger with every moment. Jack noticed a man across the hall looking at Lily and then glancing at him. He felt a small twinge of worry. The man seemed wealthy and confident, someone used to attention. Jack wondered if he was a rival or just curious. He tried to push the thought aside and focus on Lily, but the feeling of being out of place returned. He was just a simple man, and the world around him was filled with people who had money and status. Lily noticed Jack's discomfort and reached for his hand. She squeezed it gently and whispered that he had nothing to fear. She told him that she was drawn to him because of who he was, not for anything else. Jack felt his heart lift. He realized that she truly cared about him and not about the differences in their lives. They stepped out into the garden again, away from the music and chatter. The moonlight made the flowers glow softly. Jack and Lily walked slowly, side by side. Jack spoke about his struggles raising Danny alone and the small victories he celebrated. Lily listened, her heart warming at his honesty and strength. She shared small details about her work and travels, still keeping her full wealth hidden, wanting to see if he would love her for herself.
Ow.
Jack started to worry that he might not be enough for her world. He paused and said he felt ordinary compared to everything she had achieved. Lily stopped and turned to him, her eyes serious. She told him that he was extraordinary in the ways that mattered most. His heart, his kindness, and his dedication made him more important than any riches. Jack felt a mix of relief and joy. He had never heard anyone speak to him like that before. They laughed at small things and shared old memories from high school. Jack remembered how Lily used to laugh at his clumsy attempts to impress her, and Lily smiled, remembering the same moments. The laughter brought a sense of closeness that had been missing for years. They felt connected and understood in a way that was rare. As they walked near the fountain, Lily suddenly stopped and looked at Jack. She confessed that seeing him again had reminded her of everything she had once felt for him. Jack felt a surge of hope and fear, admitted that he had never forgotten her, and that she had always held a place in his heart. They stood close, their faces just inches apart, feeling the tension and the pull between them. A waiter hurried past, nearly bumping into them. Jack held Lily to steady her, and they both laughed. The moment made the night feel real, full of small imperfections that made it perfect in its own way. They realized that they could face the world together, no matter the differences and challenges. As the evening drew on, they returned to the hall, their hands still linked. Jack noticed the curious glances from some guests, but Lily stayed by his side, showing confidence and support. Both of them knew that the night had changed everything. The spark between them had grown stronger, and neither could deny that they were meant to explore what was beginning. This reunion was more than a chance meeting. It was a step toward a future they had never imagined possible. Jack and Lily returned to the hall together, feeling the excitement and tension of the evening. The wedding was in full swing, with music, dancing, and laughter. They walked side by side, hands brushing occasionally, both aware of the growing connection between them. Jack could feel his heart racing, and Lily felt the same, though she tried to stay composed. Lily knew she had to tell Jack the truth. She stopped near a quiet corner and looked at him seriously. She told him that she had become wealthy and successful, that her life was very different from his now. Jack listened, feeling a mixture of surprise and uncertainty. He took a deep breath, not wanting to let his emotions take control too quickly. He wondered if this difference in their lives would change everything. Jack looked at Lily and realized that nothing else mattered except her. He told her that he did not care about money or status. He loved her for who she was, the person he had always known and remembered. Lily felt a wave of relief and happiness. She had been worried that her success might push him away, but instead it made her heart love him more. She could see the honesty and depth of his feelings. They spent the next moments walking through the hall, sharing small touches and smiles. Jack introduced Lily to his son Danny, who immediately liked her. Danny was curious and shy, but he warmed up quickly to Lily, sensing her kindness. Lily knelt down to talk to him, asking about his favorite games and stories. Danny laughed and felt at ease with her, and Jack felt a surge of joy seeing the two most important people in his life connect. They joined the dancing in the hall, moving slowly to the music. Jack felt a nervous excitement, holding Lily in his arms. The crowd seemed to disappear, leaving only the two of them. They laughed and talked quietly, sharing stories and memories. The connection between them was deep, stronger than either had expected. The past had faded, leaving a chance for a new beginning. Lily admitted that seeing Jack again had reminded her of how much she had loved him and how much she still cared. Jack held her hand firmly and told her that she had always been in his heart, that he had never stopped thinking about her. They shared a long look, full of emotion, and in that moment, both realized that they were ready to be together again. As the night continued, Jack and Lily walked outside to the garden, enjoying the quiet away from the celebration. The moonlight reflected off the flowers, creating a peaceful atmosphere. Talked about the future, about how they could be together and support each other. Lily felt her heart swell with hope and love, knowing that Jack's feelings were real and true. Jack felt the same, ready to build a life with her, no matter the challenges. They held each other close, finally letting the years of separation fall away. Danny joined them, and they shared a small family moment, laughing and feeling connected. Jack realized that this night had given him a second chance, a chance to be with the woman he had never forgotten and to share a family bond with his son. As they returned to the hall for the final moments of the wedding, Jack and Lily walked hand in hand. The crowd watched them, some surprised, some smiling, neither cared. They had found each other again, and that was all that mattered. The night had changed everything. The spark that had been reignited would not be ignored. Together, they were ready to face the world, to start a new chapter, and to embrace the love that had waited for them all these years.